First life, I became his mate. Everyone claimed he was deeply in love with me. Rowan sent all the healers away.
If women of the Hart bloodline weren't the only ones capable of bearing pureblood alpha heirs.
Reborn into my second life, I placed Silver Ridge's mating contract into my sister's hands. Go. You were always the one he wanted. Solely for her ability to bear his children. I opened my eyes once again to my third life. The unsigned Silver Ridge mating contract rested quietly between my sister and me. Our gazes met, and the same question lingered in both our minds. Who would step into this pit of ruin? Mother stared at the unsigned mating contract, confusion etched across her face. After a moment, she looked up at Rowan Vale and spoke cautiously.
Why hasn't anyone signed it? Are you choosing Clara?
I was Clara Hart. Everyone in the Silver Ridge pack had always assumed Rowan would one day bind himself to me through a mating contract. But now, I knew the truth. My eyes remained fixed on the document, as Rowan gave a faint nod.
If the bond is with Clara, then I will accept it.
Mother's brows fluttered, irritation sharpening her voice.
That still does not answer my question. Who are you choosing?
Rowan's expression remained cold and unreadable.
I am willing to form a mating bond with Clara.
I met his gaze directly and spoke each word with absolute clarity. Rowan Vale, I refuse. I will never form a mating contract with you. The room fell deathly silent. He had given me the exact same answer in my first life. Back then, I mistook his distant and formal words for restrained affection. Afraid he might change his mind, I urged Mother to finalize the match. That single decision ruined my entire life. At first, life in the Alpha Manor of Silver Ridge seemed peaceful enough. Before my body could even recover from one birth, he would demand another pregnancy. In 7 years, I bore him 6 heirs. As time passed, people throughout the pack began whispering that no alpha would stay devoted to only one woman unless he truly loved her. I believed those whispers too. Then came our 8th winter together. While the healers fought desperately to stop my bleeding, Rowan ordered every last one of them out of the room. Before I could even ask why, he strode to—
Women of the Hart bloodline were not the only ones capable of bearing pureblood alpha heirs. I would never have chosen you in the first place.
First time, hesitation flickered across Rowan's face.
Very well, I'll tell you. The one I've always loved is your.
Before he could finish the sentence, darkness swallowed me whole. That memory was carved deep into my bones. So I looked at my mother and repeated firmly, I won't bond with him. She stared at me in stunned disbelief, and honestly, I could not blame her. She had watched me love Rowan for years. She knew I had waited for him near the Northern Patrol line with me about dignity and self-respect. As far as she knew, Rowan was the only man I had never been able to turn away.
Clara, you once swore you would never accept another male's claim.
That was years ago. I was young. Then, needing my refusal to sound absolute, I added, besides, someone else plans to claim me. His bond papers will arrive soon. That clearly caught her off guard. She shot me a sharp look before turning back to Rowan with a strained smile.
If Clara is unwilling, then there is nothing I can do.
Then her gaze shifted toward my sister.
What about Ivy? She has cared for you just as deeply.
Ivy went rarted. Then she answered far too quickly. Not me either. Mother finally lost her patience.
What is wrong with the two of you today?
Ivy glanced at me before quickly lowering her eyes. There's someone else too. He'll be bringing his claim papers soon. After my father passed away, Mother became the head of our household. She was strict, but she loved my sister and me more than anything. So when both of us refused Rowan's claim, she did not force us. Instead, she slowly pushed the bond papers back across the table and said as gently as she could,
My daughters can make their own choices. I won't decide this for them.
Then, attempting to ease the tension, she added,
Perhaps you should consider looking elsewhere.
That was the moment Rowan finally lost his patience. No! He slammed one hand against the table and swept his gaze between Ivy and me.
The mate I choose will come from this house.
Then he shoved the bond papers back toward us, before turning towards the door. At the threshold, he stopped.
You have 3 days to decide which one of you it will be. If you refuse, I'll take my claim before the council.
Without another word, he walked out. The front door had barely closed before Mother turned sharply toward us.
If Rowan files a formal claim, we may no longer have the right to refuse,
She said grimly.
The council will hear his case first unless another pack intervenes.
or another claim is officially submitted before then. That is why he gave us 3 days.
Her expression tightened with worry.
So if either of you truly has another man in mind, he needs to come forward now.
I looked at Ivy. Ivy looked back at me. Of course, neither of us had anyone else. For years, we had been so consumed by Rowan that we never paid attention to any other man. Anyone who had once shown interest had long since given up. The names we threw out in the parlor had been nothing more than desperate excuses. Mother realized the truth immediately.
You lied.
Neither of us spoke. But our silence was answer enough. Slowly, she sat back down and studied us for a long moment before finally asking,
Then tell me what is really going on.
So we did. There was no longer any point in hiding the truth. Ivy and I told her everything about our past 2 lives. Mother listened without interrupting, her hands clasped tightly around ours. By the time we finished, tears were already streaming down her face. When she finally spoke, her voice sounded raw with emotion.
Then who does he truly want? And why must it be one of you?
I shook my head. I died before he could finish telling me. She looked toward Ivy. Ivy let out a bitter laugh. He never told me anything. So all we had was a mystery, and 3 days to uncover the truth. By nightfall, we had formed a plan. Unfortunately, the hardest part fell to me. I found Rowan that evening in his study. Several bundles of dried herbs lay scattered across his desk beside a marked moon calendar and a few bottles from the healer's shops. He was carefully sorting the herbs into separate piles, his focus so precise that it was almost unsettling. The moment he saw me, he casually rested one hand over the calendar and smiled.
Have you come to change your mind?
Instead of answering, I stepped closer. Then I saw the herbs clearly and my blood ran cold. Moonroot, evening bark, silverleaf. They were herbs female wolves used to ease the pain and instability that came with difficult heat cycles. Rowan followed my gaze and spoke lightly.
Can't recognize them. They're for you.
I looked up at him. No, they aren't. For the first time, Rowan went completely still. I picked up one of the small herb packets and slowly turned it over in my hand. I've never taken moonroot. Silverleaf makes me sick. And my cycle has never come at the end of the month. Then I let the packet fall back onto the desk. These were never meant for me, Rowan. The silence between us turned razor sharp. Then he leaned back against the table and folded his arms, his expression as calm as ever.
You're reading too much into this.
No. For once, I'm finally seeing things clearly. Something dark and unreadable flickered across his face. When he spoke again, his voice had dropped lower than before.
Clara, do you really want to know who she is?
I held my breath and waited for Rowan to finish. Instead, he smiled.
Clara, you're overthinking this. Those herbs were meant for you.
I said nothing. Rowan reached out and lightly touched one of the packets on the desk.
The healer mixed part of the prescription incorrectly. That's all.
His voice remained calm, familiar, almost gentle.
You know me better than that.
For one dangerously weak moment, I almost believed him. Our fathers had once been close friends, and ever since I was old enough to run through the pack grounds, Rowan had always been there. As a child, I was wild and impossible to manage, constantly sneaking out of lessons and avoiding my tutors. Whenever my parents lost patience with me, Rowan would step in and promise he would help me catch up. And somehow he always did. He stayed up late teaching me pack law, alliance customs, and everything expected of the future Luna of Silver Ridge. When I teased him for studying things most young men never cared about, He only smiled and said he wanted to make sure no one would ever call me unworthy of standing beside him. After that, I forced myself to change. I learned how to behave with dignity, how to speak carefully, and how to carry myself like a future Luna should. People throughout the pack marveled at how much I had changed, and the Alpha household had long since begun treating me as one of their own. Yet Rowan never once corrected the rumors. Little by little, he made me believe I was someone special to him, and because of that, I held on to the illusion for far too many years. I looked at him steadily. If you truly wanted me, why didn't you choose me openly? Rowan paused briefly before answering.
Because of Ivy. You and your sister fought over me for years. If I had chosen you directly, it would have humiliated her.
He spread one hand calmly.
I thought if you accepted the bond first, it would soften the blow for her. I didn't expect your pride to get in the way.
Once upon a time, that answer would have satisfied me. Even now, part of me almost wanted to believe him. Ivy had never loved Rowan the way I once did. What she loved was winning. When we were children, she always took whatever mattered most to me simply because it belonged to me. And long before either of us understood what love truly was, Rowan had already become part of that game. Still, Rowan had always known exactly how to make his lies sound believable, and I hated that some part of me still remembered what it felt like to trust him. He must have noticed the hesitation in my expression, because he stepped closer immediately.
Then listen to me. I've already made my decision. You're the one I want.
His voice softened.
In 3 days, I'll come back and do this properly. No more confusion. No more doubts.
Then he smiled, softly enough to make my chest ache.
Just give me one chance to make things right.
He reached toward my hand, but stopped just before touching me.
Once the bond is sealed, I'll have the kitchens make your favorite honey rolls every morning.
My eyes suddenly burned. Honey rolls. I had never liked honey rolls. For one brief second, I almost laughed out loud. So that was it. Even after all these years, he still could not tell the difference between Ivy and me. Instead, I lowered my gaze and forced my voice to tremble. All right. I'll give you one chance. Relief flashed across his face so quickly that it looked almost grotesque.
If Ivy finds out beforehand, she'll make a scene. Just come back in 3 days and seal the bond quietly.
Rowan studied me carefully for a long moment before finally nodding.
Fine.
He looked like a man who believed he had regained control of the situation. I let him believe it. When I returned home and told Mother and Ivy what had happened, both of them looked at me as though I had gone completely mad. Ivy recovered first. She crossed the room in 2 quick strides and slapped me. She demanded sharply,
After everything he did to you, you still want to go back to him?
For once, I did not argue. I simply lowered my gaze to the folded linen resting across my knees. Finally, I spoke in an almost frighteningly calm voice.
Rowan still has one move left to make.
The color drained from Ivy's face. Then I slowly lifted my eyes to hers.
But when he comes in 3 days, it won't be me waiting for him.
Ivy froze.
You're not planning to hand me over to him, are you?
She asked cautiously.
We fight, yes, but I never tried to ruin your life. If that's what you're planning, then I really will become your enemy.
I rolled my eyes.
In my previous life, I stepped aside because I believed Rowan wanted you. Now I know what he did to you.
I looked her directly in the eye.
Why would I ever send you back to him?
Some of the panic slowly faded from her expression.
Then what is your plan?
She asked quietly.
If it isn't you and it isn't me, then who does Rowena actually want?
I turned toward Mother.
One thing is certain. The person Rowan truly wants lives under this roof.
A long silence followed. Then I finished quietly.
And it isn't either of us.